Welcome back. In this video, we'll compare the Dyson V11 and V12 Detect cordless vacuums. Mainly their similarities and differences to find out which option is better for your needs. So let's get into it. The Dyson V11 and V12 utilize the same horizontally aligned dustbin that Dyson introduced in the V10. One reason Dyson switched to this configuration is the increased dirt volume, which is around 50% more than the Dyson V8. Both use the same trombone-style hygienic system that helps push debris out. However, while the dustbin alignments are similar, the capacities differ. The V12 Detect uses a smaller frame and is aimed at consumers looking for a lightweight stick vacuum. One drawback to this smaller frame is the smaller capacity of only 0.35 liters. So it's a compromise that consumers need to consider when choosing between these products. Another difference is the power switch. The V11 uses a trigger, which is a staple of older Dyson models until the V15. The V12 Detect doesn't have a trigger, but a big red button right here. This model is the first I've seen with a button instead of a trigger, followed by the OmniGlide Micro and Gen 5 Detect. Out of these models, I like the V12 button the best because of its position above the motor. Its size and position allow for easy access, as opposed for looking a smaller round button on the LCD screen. The V11 and V12 Detect have LCD screens behind the motor, displaying a bunch of data. However, the V11, being the older model, has a simpler screen that shows the runtime status, current power setting, and error messages, while the V12 Detect adds the piezo sensor readout that shows how much debris is picked up through these bar graphs. Both have interchangeable tools, so consumers can use these vacuums as a handheld or stick vacuum, depending on the configuration. One advantage of the V12 Detect is that it comes with more tools out of the box, including this under appliance tool and this lightsaber crevice tool. But always check before purchasing, since the attachments you'll get will vary depending on where you buy. The V11 torque drive only comes with one nozzle, the torque drive nozzle, which is an upgrade over the V10 carpet nozzle, and retains the adjustable gate so it can pick up large debris piles with minimal snow plowing. Technically, you could use this attachment on hard floors, but it isn't as smooth and it's noisy because it vibrates a lot. Plus, this steering mechanism could scratch the floor. Unfortunately, I haven't seen a V11 model with a soft roller attachment, at least in North America. The V12 Detect comes with a laser slim roller, an innovation from Dyson that uses a bright green laser to accentuate almost invisible dust to help track dirt, helping consumers be more efficient at vacuuming floors. I like this nozzle better than the older soft roller because it has a slimmer profile that fits under low clearance areas. It also has a standard brush rope with a similar design to the V8 carpet nozzle. That's surprisingly good at picking up surface dirt on carpet because of this rubber flap behind the brush, which I'll explain later. I tested how much power these vacuums have by using an anemometer to measure airflow, or how much air flows through the extension tube and nozzle. This metric could predict a vacuum's potential cleaning performance, since high airflow stick vacuums tend to do better, especially at deep cleaning carpets. Based on tests, the Dyson V11 had higher airflow across all power settings when using the nozzle and tube. This brings me to the next portion of this video, which is the cleaning performance. Despite having more airflow, there's very little variance between the V11 and V12 Detect in the cleaning experiments, mainly surface dirt. In some of the tests, the Dyson V12 Detect was better, especially on hard floors, because it has a soft roller tool, whereas the V11 torque drive does not. The V12 uses the latest laser slim roller attachment, which is less chunky than Dyson's older soft roller, so it can vacuum underneath lower clearance areas than the older soft roller nozzle. Even with surface debris on carpet, the V12 Detect was better because it had a better seal. This means the nozzle has a rubber flap behind the brush that funnels dirt toward the brush, which the V11 nozzle doesn't have. The airflow gap is evident in a deep clean experiment, where the V11 got a 100% average, compared to the V12's lower score of 94.1%. Surprisingly, the V12 was better at cleaning surface dirt, picking up an average of 99.45%, compared to the V11's average of 99.26%. Both were excellent during the edge clean experiment, picking up these coffee grounds in only a few passes. Another advantage of the V11's high airflow and thicker brush is that it is better at picking up hair, at least on carpet. The V12 standard brush roll also picked up a high percentage but struggled with 11-inch strands. The V12 laser slim roller was actually better on hard floors, getting a higher percentage, even with strands over 9 inches, which was a surprise given that it had less airflow. However, one issue with this tool is that hair can wrap on the axles since there's a gap. Next, we'll look at runtime, or how long these vacuums will run from a full charge to empty on hard floors and carpets, and here are the results. The V11 wins this category since it uses a larger capacity battery. It lasted over 70 minutes on hard floors and over 57 minutes on carpet, which is impressive given its 60-minute claim. The V12 Detect didn't last as long, but it still exceeded the 60-minute mark on hard floors and was over 42 minutes on carpet in its lowest setting. One surprise is that the V12 lasted longer in the auto setting at over 27 minutes, which is nearly 10 minutes longer than the V11. Another advantage of the V12 is the detachable battery, which allows you to double the runtime by purchasing an extra or getting a sub-model with 2 batteries out of the box. Despite the lower airflow, the V12 Detect is the noisier option, maxing out at over 80 decibels in the highest power setting, while the V11 was less than 80 decibels in the highest setting. Unless deep cleaning performance and dirt capacity are a high priority, my pick would be the Dyson V12 Detect. While it's more expensive, it offers better versatility because it has more tools and is lighter. This cordless vacuum would be an absolute asset inside small homes. The steering is light, and the handheld unit is easier to carry around if you choose to use it to clean upholstery. And since it has a hair screw tool, you could clean pet hair on your chair, sofa, or carpeted stairs. If this video has been helpful to you, consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified when I publish new videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to check the links below for more information about the Dyson V11 torque drive and V12 Detect.